Number one, what are the issues involved in the rural healthcare sector? And number two, what are your suggestions for the improvement?
What is this debate, continuous controversy going around the COVID data from China? Western countries are still not satisfied with the kind of data China had provided.
As an administrator, do you have any plan or can you suggest any plan to decongest Bada Bazaar?
What is a black swan event?
Why do you think what was Bengal doing so right that in the eyes of the British it was very much needed for them to partition Bengal to stop the movement, or you can say stop the nationalist consciousness from developing? What was Bengal doing so right?
So may I come in?
Yes, come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
ma'am.
Please be seated. Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
So my name is Raunak Sharma. I am from Kolkata. I have done my basic schooling from Kolkata. After my basic schooling, I done my graduation in medical sciences from UCMS Delhi, and this is my third attempt in civil services.
Raunak, why are you not interested in pursuing your career in medical sciences?
Sir, when I got to know about the civil services, I find it a great career opportunity. Along with the diversity, it gives me to serve in various portfolios and dimensions. And sir, I think as a civil servant, I will be able to better contribute to society.
Roshan, you are from Calcutta, you said, no?
Yes, sir.
What has happened in RG Kar Hospital in Calcutta, don't you think it's indicative of a deeper malady prevailing in our society?
Yes.
Explain it.
Sir, on the one hand, it demonstrates the patriarchal nature of our society, where men often perceive women as an object of sexual pleasure. Secondly, sir, the way the case was handled also reflects the kind of distrust towards the junior residents in the hospital.
Don't you think that government is not doing enough to safeguard the interest of junior doctors?
Sir, government has done a lot, but I still think we have to go a long way in safeguarding the interest
What
of
are your
juniors.
suggestions? Be specific, one or two suggestions which you think government is still to implement?
Sir, first suggestion is regulation of the working hours of junior resident doctors, especially those who are doing post-graduation courses. Second major suggestion would be to brief up the security in the government hospitals.
You're talking about the rural healthcare issues. So, number one, what are the issues involved in the rural healthcare sector? And number two, what are your suggestions for the improvement?
Sir, in the rural healthcare sector, the primary challenges are lack of specialist doctors, especially at the PHCs and sub-centers. Second major challenge is, sir, an inefficient referral system. And third major challenge, I believe, is focus more on curative health while avoiding preventive health. Less focus on sanitation, and these actually leads to large number of both communicable as well as non-communicable diseases.
Why doctors are not interested in serving the rural areas of the country?
Sir, primary reason what I think of is especially the specialist doctors, is the lack of pay, as well as the life in rural settings is not as exciting to them.
One final question related to rural area. How technology can improve healthcare delivery in rural India?
Sir, first of all, technology can play a major role in the information, education and communication initiative of the government. Secondly, sir, telemedicine can play a major game-changing role in rural healthcare. It's very difficult due to limited availability of specialists to make specialists available in the primary health centers, but the telemedicine initiative, where a doctor at PHC can contact the doctor at the district hospital or the community health center regarding if I need to send him there. Or like suppose for example, sir, in a disease like acute pancreatitis, it is difficult to manage it at PHC. But even if we refer the patient to a community health center, there is no specific intervention that is required. It can be managed conservatively with the help of basic fluids and antibiotic support that can be done at primary health center. But the decision if he will manage at PHC enough has to be taken by a specialist. So a telemedicine kind of initiative where there is regular communication between the generalist doctor at the PHC and specialist doctors at district hospital or the community health centers, I think can play a big role.
Okay. One final question. How do you look at the insurance model under Ayushman Bharat scheme?
Sir, Ayushman Bharat can prove to be a game changer in reducing the out-of-pocket health expenditure. But sir, I think beyond Ayushman Bharat, we have to explore some other models of health insurance also. Health insurance model of the type of oligopsony, where the government will purchase health insurance for everyone and give it to them. This will reduce the cost, and this can be explored. Ayushman Bharat already covers around 50 crore people, but the rest who are left out, I think a broader insurance framework can be of help, sir.
What is the concept of missing middle in Ayushman Bharat? Missing middle?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware of the term. I can try.
Okay. Leave it. Okay, thank you.
Raunak, what has been the contribution of health professionals in Indian politics?
Sir, Dr. Harshvardhan, I knew a few names who were doctors, and sir, Dr. Harshvardhan was the health minister also. And since he was a doctor, I think he was better able to understand the concerns of doctors and the appropriate steps that need to be taken to work on the preventive healthcare. Under him, sir, PHCs expanded a lot and basic facilities were made available. And sir, the initiative to transfer primary health center into health and wellness center, where there will be adequate focus on both preventive as well as curative health, I think this was one major contribution.
And what is this debate, continuous controversy going around the COVID data from China? Western countries are still not satisfied with the kind of data China had provided.
Sir, China, owing to their own political setup, has this setback that the data released by them, not just on health front, but also on economic fronts regarding their GDP growth rate, their export-import rate, as well as their currency valuation, is doubted by Western countries. The primary reason being the secretive nature of functioning of the Chinese state.
And what kind of data collection and analysis we are doing in India about COVID?
Sir, in India, there is a very robust system to manage as soon as the case gets reported, we have to enter it into a portal and the deaths that are recorded. So the cause of death, doctor reports COVID pneumonia owing to the COVID-19 virus. So I think, sir,
do we have any project to study long COVID symptoms? Ongoing project?
Sir, I'm not aware of the same.
Okay. What do you understand by balance of payment of a country?
Sorry, sir, can you please repeat the question?
In economic analysis, what do you understand by balance of payment of a country?
So balance of payments refers to the difference in the export and import value of transactions when a country is dealing with other countries.
And what is trade balance?
Sir, I'm not aware of that.
Have you heard about current account?
Current account, yes, sir.
What is that?
So current account is a bank account that we open in a bank, and it helps in prompt dispersal of money. I'm this much only aware about it.
Okay. So do you have some interest in economic issues?
Yes, sir, I have.
So which kind of issues you have studied?
So primarily economic issues related with fiscal policy.
Okay, fiscal policy. So do we have any provision in the Constitution of India about budget?
Sir, in the Constitution of India, we have provision regarding annual financial statement, and the Constitution reads that the President shall cause to let down annual financial statement before the houses.
Which article of the Constitution says so?
Sir, if I'm not mistaken, it's Article 112.
Okay, yeah, true. And what do you understand by budgetary deficits?
Sir, budgetary deficits demonstrate the amount of difference between the receipts and the expenditure of the government. They can be of various kinds, sir. Revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, revenue deficit, primary revenue deficit, effective revenue deficit, and others.
That's true. So what is the concept of effective revenue deficit?
Sir, revenue deficit basically means the difference between the revenue expenditure and revenue receipts of the government. Effective revenue deficit was a concept that was introduced, which basically it subtracts the amount of revenue expenditure that was made that actually contributed to the capital asset generation.
And when it happens?
Sir, exactly, I don't know the year.
Okay, so we are close to the concept. So why this concept was introduced in the budget? It was introduced in 2009. Yes. ERD, effective revenue. What is the compelling need for that?
So I think the primary reason for introducing the concept of effective revenue deficit was to look for the amount of revenue expenditure we are making in excess. In sir, any budgetary parlance, if the expenditure is made to capital, is made in generation of capital assets, it is seemed as good that it will give dividends in the long run. But revenue expenditure, we always try to minimize it. So this was an attempt to guess how much an revenue deficit is actually going in revenue expenditure and how much of it are we spending
That's
in
true.
capital expenditure.
Fine. Thank you.
Raunak, in your DAF, you have mentioned that you are from Bara Bazar, right?
Yes, sir.
And Bara Bazar is, those who are been to Kolkata, they know that Bara Bazar is a very congested kind of place, right? And one has to pass through it whenever someone wants to travel to Kolkata through Howrah, right?
Yes, sir.
As an administrator, do you have any plan or can you suggest any plan to decongest Bara Bazar?
So one plan to decongest Bada Bazar is, if we look at the geography of Bada Bazar, how is it located? So if you have to enter the major railway station, that is the Howrah railway station, you have to pass through Bada Bazar. So there are two primary reasons why there is so much congestion in Bada Bazar. Primarily due to the nature of work and the nature of economy in Bada Bazar, and secondly in those who don't want to come to Bada Bazar but they have to pass through it. So, sir, one thing, the amount of congestion that is in Bada Bazar, that is to be dealt differently. But the second thing, sir, those who are don't want to come to Bada Bazar, they have to come because they want to go somewhere. This thing can be worked by alternative routes can be explored. Like, sir, there are other bridges also apart from Howrah bridges that you can cross, but we don't use them that often. So there is a need to form a, you can say, peripheral expressway kind of thing, so that one can explore the other, like Vivekananda Setu and all. Now, regarding the problem of congestion in Bada Bazar per se, sir, this can be dealt because the majority of congestion is due to the vehicles that are used to transport substances, the 3 vehicles and all. This can be dealt because the transport of substance is essential for an economy like that of Bada Bazar. But sir, I think that the majority of transport should happen at night. Like the loading and unloading which goes on throughout the day, if it is being done at night, I think that can help.
Right. In and around the same area, we have seen the rickshaw which are being pulled by man, right? Human rickshaw.
Yes, sir.
What is your opinion about that? Is it ethical?
Sir, I don't find it ethical. I believe they should be replaced by some trolley rickshaws or e-rickshaws initiative, and government can contribute some form of loan subsidy model to the same, so that they can afford those rickshaws.
Right. You are a doctor.
Yes, sir.
Recently, when this Bangladesh, was boiling, some of the hospitals of Kolkata, they have denied treating to some of the patients which are coming from Bangladesh. So as a doctor, what is your take on it?
Sir, I don't find it to be right, because medical ethics treat me that I have to treat the patient regardless of his or her origin, caste, sex, gender or anything.
Right. There are 2 states, West Bengal and Delhi. You are connected with both the states. They have not implemented Ayushman Bharat Yojana. So what are the reasons behind it? Or what is the bone of contention? Why they are not implementing it?
Sir, in case of West Bengal, there is already a Swasthya Shati scheme with nearly the same feature as that of Ayushman Bharat. I think the another reason that could be responsible for West Bengal not implementing Ayushman Bharat is the conception in the state government that implementation of Ayushman Bharat will kind of act as in support of the central government that they are doing. In case of Delhi, sir, the contention of Delhi government is there is already free treatment in all the government hospitals, so we don't need to apply that.
Right. Your hobby is trekking and hiking. What is the difference between two?
So trekking and hiking are basically the same thing. One, trekking is from British English and hiking comes from American English. However, sir, in the common parlance, there is a difference. The difference is, in hiking, is basically referred to a small trail or trek that you go, you spend the day and you come back. Trekking, sir, basically refers to when you carry the gears that you need for a 2-3 day trike. Sir, in terms of places, there is not much difference. What can be a trek to me can be a hike to someone else.
Right. My last question is that as a doctor or as a medical professional, can you, if you are appointed as a consultant to Government of India to design a roadmap for increasing medical tourism into India, can you tell us some of the steps that you can suggest?
So to promote medical tourism, first of all, we need that our facilities somehow get accredited with the American Health Association the framework used by NHS and the UK, the GMC guidelines, so that other countries feel safe enough to come here. All the current medical standards in India are reputed throughout the world, but accreditation, I think, is one issue. Second, sir, I can motivate government to encourage startups in this sector. The startups which primarily deal with this thing. Medical tourism, I think, should not be limited that someone will come here and will get treated. We can have psychiatric counselor here and they will counsel the patients living in the UK. So this kind of startup model can also be explored. Thirdly, sir, public-private partner, not public-private, encouraging the private sector, sir, to have facilities to treat and allotting spaces to them at discounted prices, and in return we can definitely have a provision for some reserve bed for Indian patients also.
Fine. Thank you, Raunak.
Raunak, you did your MBBS and then you decided to pursue preparation for the civil services. If you were to choose a specialization for your post-graduation, which area would you choose and why?
I'm very sure I will qualify in this attempt, sir. But if I have to choose one attempt, it will be forensic medicine and toxicology.
Why? That is in fact a very interesting area.
Yes, sir. And that is the primary reason is I find the work of forensic medicine very interesting, the nature of job, and there is a work-life balance in forensic medicine which also inspires me.
Okay, fair. Raunak, I see from your DAP that you scored very high in your NEET UG entrance examination. Recently there was a controversy regarding the NEET exams and some scandal was uncovered. So how do you react to these situations? Not just the NEET exam is one example, but we see these malpractices going on in a lot of public recruitment examinations and selection examinations. So how do you react to this entire scheme of affairs?
So first of all, I feel sad for the students who prepared so hard, and we are all not aware of the extent of injustice that was there, but I really feel bad for them. I really hope that we can devise some measures to ensure transparent recruitment process in all the examinations. There is an agency, a national testing agency that have been formed. I think there is a need for greater number of shifts in the examination to ensure that they can be held transparently.
So it is only post the creation of NTA that these scams have gone up in numbers. So either the scams were happening earlier also and they were not getting detected, and after the formation of NTA they are coming to the surface. So what is the case?
Sir, it's not the case that scams were not happening before and they're happening post NTA. So in the year I passed the examination, in 2017 there was a similar case. My first attempt for NEET was 2016. The exam has to be cancelled and rescheduled again. So sir, this challenge of paper leak in government examination, whether for entrance or for employment, has been a continuous challenge for us.
Okay, Raunak, you have witnessed the entire process. You have been a part of the process and now you are at the other end of the process. So if you are to give certain suggestions that how we can make this system foolproof and streamline the entire process, what suggestions would you like to give?
So firstly, I think we have to shift the exam to online mode rather than offline marking. Secondly, sir, multiple shifts of the examinations are required. And thirdly, sir, we should learn from international best practices, like the way the Gaokao exam is conducted in China, or even, sir, the JEE mains examination and advanced examination, the way they are conducted, because there are lesser instances of their leakage and all. So I exactly don't know, sir, what they are doing right, but we must explore these models to understand that what we can do better.
Okay. Raunak, can you tell us what is precision medicine?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Sir, precision medicine is a upcoming branch in the field of medicine in which the dosages of medicine are adjusted according to individual requirements. As for example,
so what is the scope of this development?
So with the rise of new technology like nanotechnology and biosensors, I think this can work a lot better. The challenge in the traditional approach of medicine is, like, suppose someone is suffering from a liver abscess, so I have to give antibiotics. But if I can have targeted intervention for this case, a nanosensor or biosensor who can specifically go there and administer the drug there, then it can be of big help. In something like liver abscess, it won't be that useful, but in disease like cancers or solid tumors, I think this has huge potential by reducing the side effects, because we suffer.
Okay. Raunak, my last question to you. What is a black swan event?
So black swan event refers to a rare event or one in a lifetime event that happens.
Can you give me some examples?
So COVID-19 was a black swan event. Sir.
COVID-19. Apart from COVID, any other event from history that you can think can be categorized as a black swan event?
So atomic bombings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I think, was a black swan event.
Thank you.
So, Raunak, you said that you're very interested in the fiscal policies of economy, right?
Yes.
So nowadays, you know that Trump is going to be the next president of the United States of America. And he keeps challenging or threatening India with all of his tariff policies. What is your take on that?
Ma'am, Mr. Donald Trump, even in his previous administration, was a bit protectionist in his approach. There was troubles regarding the generalized system of preferences, and his approach can present us new challenges. But I think when we look at our trade and fiscal policy, we should look for a much broader perspective than rather confining it to America. The amount of displeasure that was actually there against the generalized system of preferences, I think, was unjust, because majority of our exports were already not there in generalized system of preferences. So I think our trade policy, we need to include other countries and other regions also. Like, we need to take account the African region, we have to take account the Middle East, and I think our trade policy should not be very much America centric.
Absolutely, right. So recently there has been in the news that prosthetics or organs can be developed. Can you tell me something about that?
Ma'am, with the rise of technologies like that of 3D printing, where they are additive in nature, and when we couple it with new technologies like Internet of Things, there can be a huge opportunity to develop prosthetic limbs that are individual centric, and they can offer us better range of motions. I think, ma'am, this will go a long way in promoting our disability and rehabilitative care.
All right. Since you're from West Bengal, and I'm sure you know the history, the partition of Bengal, 1905, which happened. So why do you think, what was Bengal doing so right that in the eyes of the British, it was very much needed for them to partition Bengal to stop the movement, or you can say, stop the nationalist consciousness from developing? What was Bengal doing so right कि उसको partition करना पड़ गया?
Ma'am, the primary reason, I think, was the Bengal Renaissance, the kind of awakening that was taking place, not just among the higher section, but among the lower strata. This includes the library movement also, ma'am. And I think before partition, especially from after the formation of Congress in 1885 to 1905, there was huge amount of political education of the people. I think this made them realize that what colonialism is and why is it there. I think this was a primary threat for the British, that they were having a civilizing mission, which the Bengali peoples realized that this is no longer a civilizing rather than a colonizing mission.
All right. You have said that you don't want to opt for West Bengal as your home cadre, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Why? What is the reason? Why
Ma'am,
not?
I've spent a majority of my life in West Bengal, and I think this was the reason that I want to work in other places and to see other parts of the country. And this is alone the reason, ma'am, that AGMO is my first choice.
All right, that's great. Last question. You said that you are into Vipassana.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been to Vipassana camp?
4 times, ma'am.
Oh wow, that's great. How was your experience?
My experience were always great. It provides a kind of disconnect from the regular hustle and tussle of life, and it provides an opportunity to introspect as well as to regulate myself.
Absolutely. I think with your profession, it's very much required.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. Thank you.
What do you mean by general consent by the CBI?
Sir, CBI draws its power from the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. But if they have to conduct any investigation in any state, they require permission from the state. Either it can be on a case-to-case basis, or a state can give a general consent to it that they can come and investigate in their jurisdictions.
Is it applicable to central government servants also working in the jurisdiction of the state, or only for the state government officials?
Sir, it's only for the state government officials.
Okay, thank you very much. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So may I come in?
Yes, come in. Sit down, Raunak. When is your interview, Raunak?
17 January, sir.
17th. Which attempt is this?
The third attempt, sir.
Third attempt and first interview.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, how was your experience with us?
Wonderful, sir.
We also had a wonderful experience with you. You are a wonderful candidate for the civil services. UPSC will definitely like to induct you unless you commit some harakiri.
Yes.
Otherwise, you have all the qualities, sterling qualities of head and heart.
Yes.
And we asked you a lot of questions on various issues, and all your answers were bang on. That is how it should be. Very confident looking boy, very good at communication skill. You stayed honest all through your interview session, and very articulate in your arguments. These are the real qualities expected of a civil servant. So you must stay honest, personal integrity, let there be no compromise with your personal integrity.
Yes.
Honesty of purpose has to be there in all your arguments. Nothing, not a single statement based on conjectures or surmises. Very balanced views on contentious, debatable issues. You can't be self-opinionated, jumping to conclusions and judgmental. Don't try to be ever judgmental, because future civil servants, they have to weigh pros and cons of alternatives before coming to any conclusion. So all those qualities you have reflected during this half an hour. So nothing much to tell you. Why you should improve here, you should improve there. If I have to say, I can tell you anything. It's not required. It's just not required. Only thing is that I hope when you go for the interview, you will not be in this.
I'll be properly dressed.
You go properly dressed. That is important. Questions, what will be asked, nobody can guarantee you.
Yes.
But certain issues, I mean, you are a medical professional, a doctor. Part of it will definitely be
Yes.
Spent on this. Mental health is one very important issue,
Yes.
which is being discussed everywhere. So prepare mental health issues, the relevant act and the amended act, what all has changed in the amended act of medical health. Then use of antibiotics is another big issue. Reports have come recently, about I think 6 months or 1 year back, highlighting gross misuse of antibiotics in our country, using double antibiotics and all that, which is against the norms. And if you go to the Western countries, go to a country like the USA and all that, it is sold only on prescription, isn't it? And it is given in the rarest of rare cases. In COVID also, I have seen that America has never prescribed antibiotics, barring a few exceptions, to COVID patients. Whereas in our country, you know what has happened.
Yes.
So those things may be there. Then generic medicines, why it is not getting popularized? Even though the government is very keen on popularizing generic medicines, why prescription medicines are still being used? What is the purpose?
Yes.
So that may take you to a larger issue of connivance between medical fraternity and the big pharma company.
Yes.
Then your exorbitant medical costs in private sector hospitals, your radiological reports, you are relying more on radiological and biochemical reports than your own doctor's own personal acumen. Euthanasia is another important issue. Your views on that, passive, active, which countries in the world have permitted it legally? What are the problems in legalizing these issues? Those are general and apart from healthcare issues in the rural area, which is really very important. And your own thinking on that. That is very important. Why doctors don't want to work in their own field? Why some of them want to come to the civil services? Very general type of questions, those may be asked. Then patient-doctors ratio, WHO report you must have read. So what are the problems in that? How will you ensure that you maintain a proper ratio and all that? Then your role of alternative medicines, Ayush and all that. So that will be one segment of it. Where something will definitely out of this will come. Another segment is you are hailing from Bengal. Center and state relationship is another issue, which in the federal structure is very important. So some questions related to historical questions, 3, 4 years, 5 years, whatever has happened between the center and the state, that may be discussed, may not be discussed, I don't know. In that context only, the CBI's general consent I had asked you this question on. Then your international issues, you must have prepared thoroughly.
I have to work on
issues. Presently, we are in how geopolitics is becoming very dynamic and all that.
Yes.
Israel-Palestine issue, Ukraine-Russian issue, our relationship with the neighboring states and all that. So you must have prepared, but then just revise. It is on 17th, revise all that. But all said and done, again I am repeating, you are an excellent candidate. And there is no reason why you should not be getting very good marks in the personality test. If you have really done well in your medical science, then nobody can stop you from coming into the list of successful candidates, and maybe you may be coming very high in the merit list. That's what our feeling is, that is what our hunch is. Let's now pray for the best. If you have any specific question to ask, feel free to ask.
First question was like, in the case of the lack of specialists, when I started mentioning about the disease ki acute pancreatitis, don't refer, I think it was too technical and one should avoid it.
It was too technical. Try to be very general. But although technical questions also may be asked, because technology, I'm not talking about a technical thing, technology part of it, a lot of innovations are taking place in the field of technology. Recently, Russia has claimed to have found a medicine for the treatment of cancer and all that, isn't it? So those questions, gene therapy and how cancer is emerging as a big disease in our country also. So is your obesity and related problems. So what are the latest developments in those fields? So you must be having a definite background. Prepare something on that. And then don't try to be too technical in your explanation. Pancreatitis, you said, then it's okay, it's known to everybody, okay. There's a thing called pancreas, and then if it is inflamed, then it becomes so that is known to everybody. So that's not a problem. But wherever required, try to give general explanation of technical issues.
Yes.
Otherwise, your Bengal healthcare issues in Bengal, then Bengal has many other law and order problems.
Yes.
Just keep an eye on those issues. That if somebody asks you, you are not found wanting in answers. Otherwise, absolutely no problem with you. Absolutely no. What dress are you going to wear?
So I'll wear a grey suit with a white shirt and a blue tie.
Fine. That's absolutely fine. And go for a
definitely
clean shave when you go for the interview.
It just came from the duty, sir, actually.
No, I can understand. And you'll do well. Be confident.
Yes.
Don't ever try to be overconfident.
Yes.
There's a very thin line between arrogance and humility.
Yes.
Maintain your humility. That will take you to greater heights.
Yes.
Okay. All the best from our side. If anything else?
Thank you, ma'am. No, sir.
All the best.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.